Hello, family. I hope everybody is doing well. I want to ask you a question, and I had this question put to me this morning, and it reminded me of some things that I used to do. So I want to ask you, how do you communicate? How do you talk to people? It's important that we understand that when we talk to other people, that our words are only about 7% effective in getting across what we're trying to say. And then we have nonverbal cues, and those nonverbal cues are your body language. Do you know your body language is 55% of how you communicate? That's a lot. That is a whole lot. And then your tone of voice. Your tone of voice is 38% of how you communicate. So when you talk to your spouse, or you talk to your children, or other people in your family, even coworkers, how are you communicating? Are you effective? Are you an attentive listener? Or are you somebody who listens passively? And when they say, "Are you listening to me?" you go, "Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I'm right here." Or are you a selective listener? One of those that only hears what they want to hear. And then you come back with, all of this stuff that really just allows the enemy to have a toehold and or a foothold, depending on the way you communicate. So I bring this to you to make you aware, and then to ask you, if you're not an attentive listener, practice to become one. If you listen passively or selectively, stop, because it's hurting you, especially if it's your spouse. You do understand that you and your spouse come together to be one, to be whole. You're supposed to cleave to one another. If you're being negative and you're talking disrespectfully and you're putting your spouse down, doesn't matter if it's the man or the woman. If you are putting your spouse down and being disrespectful and not listening, you're doing a disservice to yourself. Because again, you are one. We all come into relationships being half. And God makes the other person the other half so that we can come together and be one. Now, this is not talking about the person that you didn't ask God about and you just ran out and hooked up with. That's on you. You made that choice. If you married that person, then, y'all have got some work to do. But if you are married and you listen to God and He brought that person into your life, please, please, please communicate effectively. Speak to one another as you would speak to yourself, because essentially that's what you're doing. Be respectful. Put yourself in a position to where you are close enough that you can't really say mean things to one another. You want an atmosphere that is loving. So practice that. And then say what it is that you need to say. And then if you're listening, tell that person, "This is what I heard." And wait for clarification or verification. But let's practice on how we communicate. Let's get better. Because as an adult, we want our children to know how to communicate. And as an adult, we want to make sure that our spouse hears us. And we want to respect one another. And if you're single, learn a lesson so you'll be prepared. Have a wonderful day. And remember this verse as you go. And it's Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. And it reads, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." So let's not give any harsh words. God bless, family.